Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Wednesdays with Larijuana. I'm your host, Larry Love from Medical Marijuana Radio. And every Wednesday, right here on CannaWannaBuy.com, we bring you the latest in medicinal and recreational information and news right here on CannaWannaBuy.com. This week, I scoured the internet and found a couple of interesting articles for you. Of course, the first one is starting off in Colorado, which is a hotbed of information, luckily enough for everybody. This is from TimeMagazine.com. It says, high-class dining. Colorado restaurant introduces weed and food pairing menu. When you go to a gourmet restaurant, you might find yourself asking the sommelier to recommend a fine wine to complement your meal. But now, as more states begin to legalize recreational marijuana use, diners will soon be asking another question. What fine weed will enhance my dining experience? Patrons of Colorado's Hapa Sushi have already begun asking this important question thanks to the restaurant's new pot and dinner pairing menu. Back in 2009, the restaurant launched a print campaign that encouraged smokers to come eat sushi to satisfy their munchies. And now the chain, which has locations in Boulder and Denver, is back on the pro-weed scene, urging locals to toke up and eat up at the same time. Here are some of the suggested dinner and dope combinations. Pakalolo shrimp with Pakistani kush, honey miso salmon with sour OG, and katsu curry with Blue Dream. Oh, and don't worry, the dining room is ergonomically designed to reduce paranoia. So you can just sit back, take a toke, and then probably start giggling about how weird it is that something that used to swim in the ocean is now inside of you. All right, next up. This is from Como News Radio in Washington. Medical pot for Fido. Seattle vets offer cannabis cure for pets. Seattle, Washington. Medical marijuana is not just for people anymore. A pair of Seattle veterinarians is pioneering the use of pot to treat your pet. Dr. Sarah Brandon, and co-founder of CannaPet, says medicinal cannabis can relieve a number of animal ills. Cannabinoids control inflammation to reduce pain from arthritis, she says. They can help reduce anxiety. Brandon, a feline veterinarian, started CannaPet with colleague Dr. Greg Kopis a few months ago because they found traditional pet medicines can have undesirable side effects. Anti-inflammatories can cause vomiting, she says. Opioids can cause decreased appetite. These are also common arguments in favor of medical pot for humans. The difference, she says, is CannaPet capsules will not intoxicate your pet. We focus on the non-THC portions of the plant that seem to really have the best benefit without giving animals the high that recreational users seek, she says. That's a good thing, Brandon says, because while some humans like to get high, your pets definitely do not. It certainly isn't pleasant for them, she says. They don't understand why they feel different. They don't have the ability to calm down from it. CannaPet doesn't have enough THC in it to cause that high, she says. That's why pet owners are unlikely to swipe their dog's medicine for their own recreational use. In fact, Brandon says, unlike medical pot, CannaPet is 100% legal because it's made from the hemp, not the marijuana plant. It's considered a supplement and is available without prescription. Brandon knows she and Kopis invited extra scrutiny by naming their product after the cannabis plant. She says they deliberately chose to do so. We want people to understand that cannabis isn't some evil thing, she says. It has its place in human medicine. It has its place in veterinary medicine. It is something that can be used conscientiously, and it can help a lot of critters. Brandon says CannaPet will cost pet owners about $1 a day. And finally, for your lungs, 3 studies that prove vaporizers are good for your lungs. And this is dated January 11th, 2014 from Leaf Science. When it comes to the healthiest way to consume marijuana, vaporizers seem to be the top choice for doctors and patients alike. Smoking marijuana, although not as harmful as cigarettes, can sometimes lead to a condition called chronic bronchitis, causing increased coughing and phlegm production. While research on vaporizing hasn't been thorough, a few studies do provide scientific evidence of their benefits. Number 1, Vaporization as a smokeless cannabis delivery system. This is a pilot study by Abrams in 2007 and published then by the University of California, San Francisco. And they compared the effects of vaporizing to smoking a joint and found that vaporizing could provide the same levels of THC while reducing the amount of carbon monoxide that enters the bloodstream. The study, which involved 18 participants, concluded that a smokeless cannabis vaporizing device delivers the same level of active therapeutic chemical and produces the same biological effect of smoking cannabis, but without the harmful toxins. Number 2, decreased respiratory symptoms in cannabis users who vaporize. This is a early wine Barnwell study from 2007, and it was published by the University of New York at Albany and the University of Southern California, and they linked marijuana vaporizers to a decrease in respiratory problems associated with marijuana and cigarette use. Using data collected from the Internet Survey, researchers found that among cigarette and cannabis smokers, those who vaporized their cannabis reported less lung problems like cough and phlegm and tightness in the chest than those who didn't. They concluded that regular users of joints, blunts, pipes, and water pipes might decrease respiratory symptoms by switching to a vaporizer. And number 3, pulmonary function in cannabis users. This is support for a clinical trial of the vaporizer. Again, it's Early Wine and Van Dam. This was done in 2010. This study in 2010 by the University of New York, Albany, took the 2007 findings a step further. The scientists gave vaporizers to a sample of 20 regular cannabis smokers with existing lung symptoms and observed the effect of 1 month of daily use. Following a month of vaporizing, the participants showed meaningful improvements in lung function, which, according to the researchers, were comparable to those who quit cigarettes. So, anybody that tells you that smoking cannabis or vaporizing is bad for your lungs, you should let them listen to this, because it actually improves lung function and lung volume. And that's it for this week's Wednesday with Larijuana. We'll catch you on the radio this Friday night and Saturday night, and again here next week on CannaWannaBuy.com. And don't forget, you can get your best price on vaporizers right here in the Canna Wanna Buy store. Peace and love, everybody. Have a good week.